All right, welcome to another video. I'm gonna start this series, and I don't know what to call it as yet. All right, because what I'll be doing is basically track and field and cricket. So if you like my content, you can just stay tuned. I'm gonna try to become more consistent.
Stop the
But
cap.
today we're talking about West Indies cricket and the CPL. How has the CPL thus far impacted West Indies cricket, T20 cricket so far? All right, as we all know, there's a T20 World Cup coming up in the Caribbean, and so CPL is of a significant importance, not just for these players, but for the selectors as well. The selectors are looking. And what have we discovered so far? So recently we played a series against India that we won 3-2 against many might say not a full strength India side, but maybe a India A. No Bumrah, no Kohli, no Sharma. But still, we beat a very good Indian team with their upcoming superstars, right? And so we're looking at what we can do now to, get the best 15-man squad out there based on this CPL. And some of the missing pieces that West Indies would be looking for, you could be hearing it on commentary as well from Ian Bishop, is a opener. When you look at it, openers in the squad from the last series and South Africa as well, Brandon King, Kyle Mayers, Johnson Charles. All right, so far, as we know, Johnson Charles is the leading run scorer in CPL of all time. All right, and so CPL is where openers can look to showcase their talents. So looking at the different openers that are, of course, local players, you look at Jamaica Talawas, they have Kirk McKenzie, Brandon King. You look at St. Lucia, and you look at Guyana. Well, Guyana now they're using a opening pair that, not local players, Asmatullah Zazai and I think Ayub. Ayub from Pakistan. And so, can't look at Guyanese's opening pair to relate it to West Indies cricket. Barbados Royals, Kyle Mayers, Raheem Cornwall, St. Kitts Patriots. They're using Andre Fletcher, Evan Lewis. Um, Trinbago Knight Riders, they're using a Martin Guptill, looking a little out of form, but not talking about him for today. Martin Guptill, and last game they used Chadwick Walton, and before I think it was Mark Dale and Guptill. But so far, a spot that's bothering West Indies is an opener. We just need an opener to blast away in the power play. All right. Really and truly, we're just looking for two quality openers because we know our middle order is actually very good for Caribbean conditions. If we're looking at it, three, four, five, six, whatever the order it is, we know it's more than likely going to be um, Shea Hope, Nicholas Pooran, Shimran Hetmyer, Rovman Powell. Some games, the order might rotate. Maybe we see Pooran at three today and tomorrow Hope at three, or maybe Pooran at four or Hope at four. We might see Hetmyer at five or Powell at five. We know the order is going to rotate, but that's our engine room from three to six. Now, the openers, if you look at the statistics from the last series, Brandon King had a very good final game, but before that, he had averaged about 23 and his strike rate was very low, about 110. So, one quality innings, but so far, then you'd say he's looking the best of the openers in terms of retention. Kyle Mayers, he has that extra ingredient in the fact that he's an opening bowler. He swings the new ball, but how much will West Indies continue to look at that? That's a big question mark. And so the openers that so far would have, put up their hands in CPL, Andre Fletcher, he's getting out of the blocks really quickly. And right here, I'm just looking at the leading run scorers so far in CPL. So far, not surprisingly, the man we're saying who's the most safest of the three openers in the current squad, Brandon King. Brandon King is at the top of the table. He has the most runs, 149 runs, almost an average of 50. Two back-to-back 50s, and then he had a little failure there. I think he made one in that game against Guyana Amazon Warriors. So Brandon King at the top of the order. But so far, Andre Fletcher, 107, strike rate 142. Fletcher, very good in the power play. And West Indies actually just need someone to get off to a fly in the power play. Johnson Charles, his strike rate a little bit down, 126. Hasn't been at his fluent best, but he's also at 91 runs, averaging 30. So Andre Fletcher certainly put up his hands. But there's one person I want to talk about, which is Raheem Cornwall. I know Raheem Cornwall doesn't have as much runs. If you look at it, 2 matches batting, 38, average 30. Remember that game he got run out, right? He got run out for zero. And he also has 38 in the last game in no time, in like 15 or 14 deliveries. So what I like about Raheem Cornwall is that he gets off to a flyer. He doesn't waste deliveries. What do West Indies want? We want an opener that we can say we want you to go out there and blast in the power play, and we know Raheem will do that. Or get out early and have Puran, Hope, Powell, and Hetmeyer bat majority of the overs. These are our four best batters in the region, and they need to bat most of the overs in T20 cricket if we're going to stand a chance to win that tournament. So if we can get someone to blast the power play and then these guys bat the remaining overs and get us up to some high scores, then we're looking good, right? So I think Raheem Cornwall, watch out for him in CPL. Remember, we're looking for an opener, and I think Raheem Cornwall is right there. But Sheer, what are your thoughts? Do you think West Indies need an opener, or are we okay with Kyle May as Brandon King and Johnson Charles as a reserve? I think of all those three, Johnson Charles is in the position where he's most likely to be replaced. Um, and some might say it's unfair to Charles. I agree because he's done really well in South Africa. He did well in last year's CPL. He did well in Australia. But the reality is Johnson Charles in Caribbean conditions and in Asian conditions is not the same Johnson Charles in a South Africa, Australia, England. When the ball is coming onto the bat and he can play in those senior countries, South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia, he'll do better. But Johnson Charles in Caribbean conditions, especially against spinners, wrist spinners, finger spinners, he tend to struggle. If you watch the game, even a couple of games he got 30 and he got dropped. He got dropped on not a couple of games, struggled against the spin a lot. So Johnson Charles has to work on that. Let's see if he step it up. But I think opening spot is up for grabs. My favorite play in the Caribbean is Evan Lewis, but apart from that one game where he scored 48, not looking so good as yet. Only that one game, 48, and he hasn't done anything yet. So let's see who won the opening spots up for grab. But I think Brandon King so far, he's probably the safest bet. Now, don't need to talk about the engine room. Puran, Powell, Hetmeyer, Hope, they're doing their thing. And we expect this. If you look at it, Hetmeyer is up there, 86 runs, averaging 43. Expect that. That's usually what I get from Hetmeyer. Shea Hope, 79 runs from 2 innings, which is very good, averaging 39 with a whopping strike rate of 160. Shea Hope has just matured to a different level. Now looking at a three format player. Before we would just put him in a box and say he's an ODI player. I think now he's matured. He has the confidence. His game has elevated to another level. Shea is ready for all three formats. So the engine room is doing well. Rovman Powell at 67. Yeah, not out. 29 balls, excellent. Puran looking good as well the other day. Got a 50 finally for TKR, looking good. So, I mean, the engine room is good. Um, Number 7, I think, is relatively safe for West Indies cricket. Romario Shepherd, he's finishing innings wonderfully. Against the Patriots the other day, came and wham bam 3 overs quickly, got a quick score. And then against the Talawas again, he made 19 runs off 9 deliveries, both not out. And then with the ball, one thing I love about Romario Shepherd, he has actually improved with the ball a lot. We saw it in the India series. Now we're seeing it here. I think the last game he got 3 wickets for 7 runs. Got rid of Brandon King and Shamar Brooks, and then got another wicket later down. So Romario Ship, and what I like, he's taking the new ball. I saw in the game against the Patriots, he was roughing up Andre Fletcher and also Evan Lewis. So I think that's another spot right there that we're searching for someone to open with Akil Hussein, and then there are going to be times where you don't want to open with a spinner, you want to open with two seamers. My big question is, do you think Romario Shepherd is actually proving that he can take the new ball? Because sometimes Obed McCoy is a little, injury prone. He might not be able to play. Sheldon Cottrell usually is very good up front, but after the first over, then Cottrell, the next three overs really isn't as impactful in a T20 match. So at the end of the day, West Indies might be searching for opening seam. Of course, Jay Snola, yeah, he's been here about for a long time now. But really and truly, I think Shepard is showcasing his skill that he can take the new ball potentially for West Indies. So I think the selectors should have their eyes open. What are your thoughts? I think he's putting up his hand. Now, I think another spot up for grabs right there in the squad. Remember, Odin Smith was in the squad and he played one game against India, and I thought his bowling was off color because he's really playing as a bowling all rounder. And I think his batting sometimes it takes a bit too long to get going. And so I think Odin Smith's spot, a lot of people know he's a little bit of a hit and miss. So I think that spot is up for grabs. So looking for seam bowling all rounder in the Caribbean. And I think Andre Russell he's been looking good so far with the ball. None for 20 in three overs, good economy. Then the other game against St. Lucia, he was the one that brought it back 2 for 28 in three overs. Right? They were getting off to a flyer, Faf Duplessis and Charles. Big partnership, and Russell came and broke that partnership. And then, of course, the champion DJ Bravo, ever looking so good, but unfortunately, Bravo is retired. We don't have the luxury of having Bravo. We don't have the luxury of having Pollard. So don't. I know it would have been good to have their services, but we're looking for that seam bowling all rounder. And I think the only person I would say looking good to replace Odin Smith is Andre Russell. Now, what we can do then is maybe since we're lacking in the opening bowling department, look at some bowlers, right? And I like Matthew Ford. Matthew Ford, what he did in that game. Matthew Ford against Barbados, St. Lucia against Barbados. I saw him run through the top order. Um, haven't seen much of him since. So I think need to see some more of Matty Ford. So if we don't look at seam bowling all around us, possibly we could look at a seam bowler that offers something different. We're looking for a seam bowler that can swing the new ball primarily. That's what we would love. So we don't have to go for this Kyle Mayers two overs up front, right? So I think that's another spot right there in the squad that's up for grabs. I think also O'Shane Thomas has proved himself. He's looked good. Thomas has looked good. His pace is up. I was hearing that he wasn't fit before the India series, but O'Shane Thomas has looked good. Took two wickets against Jamaica Tallowers. I think 2 for 26 in four overs, and Thomas has looked actually really good. So I just want to go on the bowling stats. All right, so just to tell you, O'Shane Thomas has looked good, and I think he would be in one of the retentions so far from the squad. So again, remember, I'm using the squad from the 15 that played against India, and looking at spots that are up for grabs in the 11. So far, our opening slot, I think Brandon King is safe. Next opening spot good. I think maybe number 8. Shepherd, I think, is fine at 7. Going for a seam bowling all rounder at 8. Um, and possibly another spinner in the team. It don't even have to be a seam bowling all rounder. Possibly can be a all rounder that offers some spin or a quality opening seamer or a quality spinner. We have so many options right there, right? Because our batting order is so long, anyways, because we have Alzari Joseph batting at 11 and Akil Hussain at 10. Akil Hussain is a proper batsman who can bat 7, even 6, right? I'm not pushing it. If you've actually watched him across different franchises, he can actually tank the ball and he also plays smart cricket. So I'm not downplaying or upplaying Akil Hussain. He's a brilliant cricketer. All right. So our batting depth is very good in T20 cricket. We bat down to number 11. So maybe we can look at now reducing the batting depth and go for more quality bowling, right? So again, that number 8 spot pivotal. We don't have to go for a seam bowling all rounder. Um, we can actually just and many person might say, isn't Jason Holder number 8? We've actually seen that Jason Holder now is but I don't know. Jason Holder sometimes coming at 7, sometimes 8, sometimes even 9, playing as a specialist bowler. So that's why I don't put Jason Holder as that at that number 8 yet, right? So it just depends. Jason Holder really depends on the match situation, but what I'm saying though is in the squad, right? Odin Smith's spot is up for grabs. All right. I think a quality spinner can take that spot. So looking out for the spinners in the CPL, many persons want to see Gudakesh Moti, who's looked relatively good so far. And I mean, this is in the St. Lucia St. Kitts leg. It's not so spin friendly, and so it should get better for him to prove his case. Not yet. Haven't seen Kevin Sinclair. I think Junior Sinclair getting ahead of Kevin Sinclair. I'm very shocked because Kevin Sinclair at one point was, playing T20 cricket for West Indies, and he was up there and well rated. So looking for another quality off spinner. Ruston Chase so far doing his thing, doing his job with the bat and with ball, and he's looked superb so far. So Ruston Chase, I think he is. One thing I love about Ruston Chase, he's getting his matchups really well. He got a 50 yard in the first game for St. Lucia. Um, then again, he went on with the ball. He did really well with the ball. And even the other day, setting up Puran, getting Puran out, the left-handers at the crease, straight away, Faf got the off spinner, got rid of Puran. So I think Faf is, not Faf, Faf is doing a great job as captain, but Chase is doing a great job. So looking at the squad again, just remember some spots up for grab. Obed McCoy not fully fit. Again, a quality seamer can stand up. Who will it be in the CPL? Looking at the top of the tree. And remember, I'm only singling out Caribbean bowlers. So Carrie Pierre is doing well. Gudakesh Moti, Matthew Ford, Jason Ola, DJ Bravo. Again, it's no new names. It's still the same guys doing well. Sunil Narayan, Carrie Pierre, Dominic Drace, Gudakesh Moti. These are all the guys that are in and around the squad. Who are the new guys coming in? Who are the new guys coming in who want to put their names and say, yes, I am here? So, again, looking at it, spaces up for grabs. I only think there are 3 spaces up for grab from the last years against India. I think 12 persons are sure. I can count off the top of my head. King looks good. So King looks good. Puran, Hope, Powell, Hitmeyer, that's 5 right there. Jason Holder, that's 6. Akil Hussein, that's 7. Romario Shepherd, that's 8. Rustin Chase, I think, is good in the squad, that's 9. Um, it's always good to have the left arm seamer. So Obed McCoy, for now, looks good in the squad, 10. But I think that Obed McCoy, if Sheldon Cottrell can have a better leg in the next couple of games, or even a Dominic Breaks, maybe. But we still have to say Obed is the number one bowler, left arm seamer we have in the region. He can get his pace up and his variation. But so far, he hasn't really looked in top form in CPL. He's injury prone, as we know. So let's see if Obed can get back in good rhythm, then it would be good. And one thing I've noticed with Obed is that he's very good up front. So in the first 2 overs, he's looked good. But in the back end, he hasn't looked like the usual Obed we saw in 2021. So that's the Obed we want, the Obed, the finisher that can close out games. So as I said, that's 10 person I think good in the squad. So not so good then is maybe a Johnson Charles. Yeah, Kyle Mayers. Oh, Jason Ola, I said is good. But I said 10 names and that means there are 5. So Kyle Mayers, Johnson Charles, Odin Smith. These 3 in particular, I think their spots are up for grabs, and I think a opener definitely out there, a quality seamer and a quality spinner. What are your thoughts? Right, so share your thoughts in the comments, and if you like the video, just hit that like button. I'll try to make more of these videos, even once a week. I'm gonna really try. I love cricket, you love cricket, and I think West Indies can win the next T20 World Cup. Wow! Just have to rally behind the team and also we have to urge on the players to continue doing what they're doing. We beat South Africa, they will beat India. These guys just need to continually win T20 series leading up to the World Cup. And I think we have a good shot now. Not to say that we're better than any team right now. I think we're down in the pecking order. We're maybe like 5 or 6. We're not as bad as the rankings suggest. Ignore the rankings. But I think that there are a couple of teams like England, India, Australia, that at full strength, they are perhaps better than us. But I think that we are above the pecking order against some of the teams, right? I think we're above the pecking order against certain teams. So I think we have a good chance to win the World Cup, given that it's at home as well. So CPL is very important to the selectors. So what are your thoughts on CPL so far? Who would you say that I missed that is impressing in any department that West Indies can look at? Maybe a Kirk McKenzie at a 20 of 11, or whoever you think that you can say that spot is up for grabs too, or another spot is up for grabs. State it in the comments. It's your boy Ronaldo, and I am